こんにちは、リカです。Today we are learning adverbs of degree and quantity, which often works with verbs and adjectives. These are for verbs, and these are for adjectives. Today we are learning them one by one. Let's begin. First, these are the adverbs of degree. よく is well. だいたい is mostly. 少し is a little bit. あまり is not so much. 全然 is not at all. よく、だいたい and 少し are used with positive forms of verbs. However, あまり、全然 are used with negative forms of verbs. よく and とても are often confused, but よく is used with verbs and とても is used with adjectives. You could say とてもよく to say very well. It will be right here above よく. よく、だいたい、少し、あまり、全然 are used with verbs. Often the verb わかります which means understand in English. If you want to learn about this verb, there is a video in the playlist Beginner's Lessons Level 2. Please take a look if you're interested. I understand something. 私は something がわかります。For example, I understand Japanese. 私は日本語がわかります。If you want to add adverbs, it'll be right before the verb. Or you might hear Japanese people using it right after the topic. Today, I would show you the way to use it before the verb, which is a little bit more natural. 私は日本語がよくわかります。You can use different adverbs to talk about different degrees. However, if you are using あまり or 全然, you have to use the negative form of the verb わかります, which is わかりません。私は日本語があまりわかりません。Let me show you some examples about myself. 私は日本語がとてもよくわかります。英語がよくわかります。フランス語が少しわかります。スペイン語は勉強しましたが全然わかりません。If you want to learn about conjunctions, please take a look at this video in the same playlist. Let's look at adverbs of frequency. いつも is always. よく is often. 時々 is sometimes. あまり is not so often. 全然 is not at all. いつも、よく and 時々 are used with positive forms of verbs, and あまり and 全然 again are used with negative forms of verbs. These are used with verbs that you know very well, like 行きます、食べます、飲みます and so on. Let's look at an example. 私はレストランへ行きます。You might hear Japanese people using the adverb right in front of the verb, or even right after the topic, or maybe even right in the beginning of the phrase. But today we can use it right in front of the verb 私はレストランへよく行きます or right after the topic 私はよくレストランへ行きます You can switch the adverbs to talk about different frequencies. However, if you want to use the adverbs あまり、全然 Again, you have to use the negative form of the verb. 私はレストランへあまり行きません。I'm going to talk about myself. 私は毎日料理します。時々レストランへ行きます。スポーツをあまりしません。でも、時々ストレッチをします。If you already know the te form of the verb, you can use it at the end of the phrase to make it sound like it's something that you are repeating as a routine. For example, 私は毎日料理しています。I am cooking every day as a routine. Now let's look at the adverb of quantity. たくさん is a lot. 少し is a little bit. あまり is not so many. 全然 is not at all. たくさん and 少し are used with positive forms of verbs, and あまり、全然 are always used with the negative forms of the verbs. Here we can use verbs like あります or います。This is an example. 公園に人がいます。You can use the adverbs in front of the verb or in front of the subject. The most natural one for me is in front of the verb. 公園に人がたくさんいます。たくさん is a lot. It's not a person who is called たく. You can use different adverbs to talk about different quantity. If you want to use あまり or 全然, you have to use the negative form of the verb. 公園に人があまりいません。Here's an example. 東京に人がたくさんいます。店もたくさんあります。私の町に日本人が全然いません。でも和食レストランが一つあります。Now let's look at adverb of degree. とても is very. 少し is a little bit. あまり is not so much. 全然 is not at all. とても and 少し are for positive forms of adjectives, and あまり、全然 are for negative forms of the adjectives. So yes, these are only for adjectives. If you want to learn about adjectives, you can take a look at the playlist Adjectives. Here's an example. パソコンは高いです。You can put the adverb right in front of the adjective. パソコンはとても高いです。You can use other adverbs to talk about different degree. And again, if you want to use あまり or 全然, you have to use negative forms of the adjective. パソコンはあまり安くないです。唐揚げはとても美味しいです。コンビニの唐揚げはあまり高くないです。でも少し小さいです。That's all for today. If you want to test your understanding, please write about 1. Languages that you understand or not. 2. Activities that you don't do often. 3. Objects that you have a lot. Please write them down in the comments below so that I can correct them. Thank you for watching my video. I hope this video was useful. I post every Tuesday and Friday if I can. じゃあ、またね。バイバイ。